Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our recurring series where we speak to leaders in the customer success ecosystem about excellence in customer success. For those of you that don't know, my name is Alex Farmer. I'm the founder of Customer Success Excellence, the world's first awards program dedicated to the customer success profession. And I'm pleased to be joined by Swati Garg, who I'll let introduce herself in just one second. Um, if you haven't heard before, customer success excellence exists to find the best voices in customer success, not necessarily the loudest. Those operators who are not out there talking about everything that they're doing on LinkedIn and just nailing it in terms of execution at their companies. And the awards program exists to find those people. I want to talk a little bit about excellence in customer success. Swati, you had the privilege, I hope it was a privilege, of joining us and, of course, sponsoring as a bronze sponsor the Americas Awards, which we just held in May in San Francisco. So thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoyed the ceremony. And, of course, we named our winners as well. But why don't we start with a quick introduction? Who are you and what do you do?
Thank you, Alex. I'm Swati Garg. I'm the founder of Melo Associates. We are a leading recruiting firm. We focus in customer success and professional services. We've been in national publications, CS publications, and our goal really is just to add value to the community. And it's been a great ride so far.
It's excellent. I know you guys are doing great things, and you must see a lot as well. So I would love your take on what excellence in customer success looks like in your view.
When we think of CS, we talk to candidates and companies and clients all day long. And so when we think of excellence, it's really about the value that the customer is getting, right? So it's all about, are they getting value from the product? Do they want to continue using it? And, is it actually impacting their business, right? One of the reasons we went into CS was because we understand like how it impacts the bottom line of the company. And I think that if it doesn't impact it positively, right, that's not excellence. So I would say when CS is impacting the bottom line of a company positively, I would say that's excellence.
It's a great point, and I think I've been in customer success for about 10 years myself, and I found, and sometimes still find that we get a little bit wrapped up in this philosophical I'm not even sure, philosophical kind of ether talking about the principles of customer success. And these are all the things that we need to do. And we sometimes forget that at the end of the day, we need to grow revenue and impact the bottom line first and work backward from there. Right. And I think some people want to work forward from what they think is the traditional customer success playbook that they can just take from their last company and bring to their next company. But as you say, very, very aptly, it's about bottom line first, and then how do we get there second? So it's an interesting and very topical time to be having this conversation. Obviously, growth from existing customers has become much more in vogue these days, given the current conditions as well. Let's talk about people. You talk to a lot of them, I'm sure. What qualities or characteristics are critical for a world-class customer success professional?
Yeah, so I would say analytical, having strong communication skills, feeling connected to the product, being coachable, and being
Mm.
curious. It is incredibly important to ask the right questions, I think, to be a good CS person.
Mm. And it strikes me as interesting because especially the concept of asking the right questions, because there's some parallels there. In sales we do a lot of discovery, right? We're talking to a
Yeah.
customer, we want to understand their pain point, and we can propose our solution as a potential remedy to that pain point. But similar overlapping skills for customer success, except you're not doing it at certain stages of the sales funnel. You're doing it all the time, and you're doing it to
Mhm.
different personas with different contexts. And I think that's maybe even more challenging, if you like,
Yeah.
and something that you need to kind of shift your context more as a CSM, because you're doing so many different roles within your customer success job title, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk a little bit about the great people you talk to in the context of interviewing and placing customer success managers and leaders. Um, there's unfortunately now, I think maybe more people back on the market, let's say, given the current economic conditions. What advice would you give a customer success manager or a customer success leader who's going for that interview? How do they
Yeah.
differentiate themselves and stand out? What advice would you give?
Preparation is key. I mean, I think that people that are going into conversations, they need to research the company, who they're interviewing with, the product, are they in the news? Having a ton of good questions. We've had leaders that sometimes the whole interview is just questions. And so, if you don't actually go in and prepare any questions or maybe have like three, that can get a little dicey, right? So it's really important. I think preparation is the biggest thing I could say, and being able to convey your story super well. No one's going to be able to connect the dots for you. You have to do that. So whether you're transitioning or you're going into a new industry or you're trying to just do something different, or even if it's the same, but really being able to share your story, how it's, where you're kind of at and why this company or role makes sense for you, and showing them, conveying that, I would say are the two most important things.
That's spot on. I think I had an old manager that was kind of teaching us the right way to hire, and he used to say the only incorrect answer to "Do you have any questions?" is no.
Yeah.
I think it's so
Yeah.
true, right? No, that makes total sense. And what about the reverse of that question? For companies that are looking for the right fit candidates, what advice would you give the hiring managers that you partner with? Um, to find the right candidates, to run the right process.
Yeah. I think know what's critical, right? There is always a long list of things that, we would love to have, in a candidate. And I think it's really important to know what's critical and what can be learned, right? That's actually one of the
Mm,
questions we ask when we do what we call a deep dive call with our clients when we're learning about the role. And it's really important to understand what's critical and what can be learned. And I think that differentiates, that also gives, no person wants to come and do the exact same job, right? They're not going to look at a job description and say, oh, this is 100% what I can do, great, right? They want to learn. So I think it's really important to be like, hey, this is critical, like they can't be successful in this position without it, but we can teach them this so they're actually
mm,
continuously growing. And that's what they're looking for. And I think that also is a huge testament to the company and their coaching and their training and their strong management skills, is really understanding that and being able to um, kind of put that together when they're hiring.
makes sense, and I imagine it also makes it a much more efficient, right? Because at least I, personally, even have been guilty of kind of casting the very widest net possible, and nothing being required, and just want to get a sense of what's out there, and then always ending up hiring kind of what I thought the net would have looked like had I been a little bit more, I don't know, yeah, disciplined, I guess is the right word. So I think that makes total sense. And also, I think in customer success, there's so many different flavors. It's still quite a wide profession. There's
Hmm.
folks who partner with account managers that have never owned a commercial number before. And there's the CS leader that owns the number and kind of does both commercial and non-commercial together. And being super clear about which version or which version in between is maybe also quite important.
Right.
Let's look to the future. I won't hold you. I won't hold you to your answer here, Swati. But where do you think customer success is going to be in 5 years? There's a lot of change happening out there now. Digital CS, for example, is all the rage these days. Doing more with
Hmm.
less. But fast forward 5 years from now, where do you think this profession is?
You know, um, one thing I love about customer success is it's been constantly evolving, right? We've been around for a little over 6 years, and I feel like it's been different every year in a good way. And I think it's really hard to tell. But one thing from a talent perspective I could say is that, AI, ChatGPT, OpenAI, that whole world is going to become a required skill, right? So I've heard a lot of people say that, making sure that, it's working with AI, not really against AI. And,
Mm,
I'm a huge fan of that, right? I think that's going to become, and already is starting to become, a really important skill. And I think that's just going to, get bigger and bigger. Um, and I think that's going to really impact the function, right? Right now it's digital CS, right? We have high touch, low touch, we have all the things, but I feel like it might create a whole new category and we don't really know. So I guess my answer is I don't exactly know. I think AI is going to be a critical skill from a talent perspective, and I think new categories are going to pop up that we haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah. And different subcategories within the tech stack maybe as well, with
Hmm.
all of the innovation that's happening. You said you're not 100% sure. If you were 100% sure about what's going to happen in 5 years, we would be having a much longer conversation about which stocks I should be picking, Swati. So I think it's okay that you don't know, but I think those are some great predictions. And you mentioned, high, mid, and digital touch, but maybe we just have AI touch, so to speak, in the future, leveraging the technology to kind of apply the right fit, right? So I think you're definitely onto something there. Um, well, look, this has been a brilliant conversation and great to catch up with you after the awards ceremony that was we held in May in San Francisco. A pleasure to speak with you again, and thank you again for your support. It was lovely having you as a bronze sponsor, and great to hear your insights today as well. Thanks so much for
Yeah,
your time.
thank you.